And now we're going to go ahead and basically say each one of these has an ID. And, I mean, this is going to be pretty simple. Trust me. We're going to make attack ID equals 1. ID equals 2. Whoops. And ID equals 3. You don't actually have to put those, for they are just comments for those of you that are new to programming and scripting. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to add a switch, and that switch is going to consist of our skill integer that we introduced. And it's going to go ahead and light up yellow, and that's just a warning because we don't have it actually assigned to anything. And we're going to do case 1. And basically what this does is in between the case and the break is what's going to happen. We're going to do case 1. We'll do attack plus plus whoops. Okay, so we now have these skills assigned to these in theory. So whenever we actually write out this buff, we're gonna have to have 2 integers. Like it's gonna look like this. It won't let me actually put it right here because I'm not inside of a method. It's gonna be like increased by 1 and skill 2. And that's what it'll look like. I mean, we could always change this to a string and have it see if the string equals the skill name, but we're just going to keep it simple. So instead of having all of this code, we are going to take and put our else statement at the bottom of this. Okay. And so if we don't have enough buff points, it's going to say not enough buff points. And then at the end of our switch, we're just going to write buff points minus minus. So it's going to take away the buff point. And if you notice, we never actually used our amount. So to integrate that, all we got to do is plus equals what? Amount. And that will make that work. Okay. So we can now get rid of all this code. And we can put buff stat 1 1 buff stat 1 2 and buff stat 1 3. And now if we save this and we run it, it will work exactly the same, and it is going to save a lot of code. So if I hit F2, we just gained an attack level, F3, a strength level, and F4, a dexterity level. And it used our buff points, and if we hit it again, not enough buff points. Same message, less code, and it'll work better. It's much more flexible this way, because instead of having to add a whole nother thing of if we want to add another skill, that whole long if statement we had, or multiple if statements that we had, we can just write buff stat and then replace this with whatever skill we want. So now we're going to go over to our buff stat, and at the end of this we're going to have to say calc our max level again, because we increased our statistics, and then, whoops, I just did those backwards. We're going to have to calculate our level before our max HP, or else it's not going to work out correctly. Okay, so if we save this, go back to our game, we're going to replay it. F2, still level 1. F3, still level 1. F4, level 2. And we have 10 extra health. So we now have a somewhat of a leveling system. We currently have no way of getting EXP though, and I will add that soon. So, wow, we're already into episode 4 of the video commentary. Okay, so on to the EXP part. And we're just going to keep, or we're going to make something for our EXP just for testing. Yeah, we can keep that, I guess. Let's go say that void level up. There's no real purpose, but then again, once we do level up, we would like it to give us our +3 buff points, or we would never get any better in the game. So, calculates level for EXP. Then void get level for XP. And then we can do, let's just get it to divide our total EXP by 125 for now. Nothing big, nothing really complex. It's going to be constant leveling for the same increments every time. So we're going to take int EXP needed equals main level times 125, and then an if statement. If, okay, yeah, this is just going to be level for EXP. So now if EXP needed is less than or equal to our, what was it, EXP? So we named it? Yeah. Then EXP equals 0 and level up. And what we're going to have to do is put this in our update method, even though I hate to use it because it will cause lag if you put too much in it. But that'll be alright. We can now save this, go over here, and play. But we really have no way of getting EXP. So I'm just going to go over to our inspector. This is another reason why Unity is so nice. And if we do 125, boom, 6 buff. And then we can do our, we're going to make a guy on roids real quick. Or, no, we've got a really smart person.